This is Tales and Whispers, where every story is felt, not just heard.
All right, get ready for one of the absolute strangest stories you will probably ever hear. It's about a man, an extreme choice he made for more than half his life, and an ending that, well, you just won't see it coming. Okay, let's just think about this for a second. More than half a century with no bath. I'm not talking about a week or a month. I mean no soap, no water for over 60 years. And this wasn't because he couldn't. This was entirely by choice. That was the life of a man named Amou Haji. And here's where the story takes a turn from strange to just mind-boggling. This man, Amou Haji, lived to be 94 years old. 94! But then, just a few months after some villagers finally convinced him to take his first bath in decades, he died. So what on earth happened there? To really get our heads around this, we've got to start right at the end, with that really bizarre conclusion to his story. So back in October 2022, the news reports were pretty straightforward. Amou Haji had passed away. But it wasn't just that he died that got everyone talking. It was the how and the why that really captured the world's attention. His already kind of strange life story suddenly became this massive, genuine mystery. So who actually was this guy? You know, the man who got that unofficial and pretty harsh title of the world's dirtiest man. Well, he wasn't some total hermit living off the grid in the middle of nowhere. He was actually a pretty well-known figure in his village, which was in the Fars province of southern Iran. The community knew all about him, and, in their own way, they kind of looked out for him. But yeah, his lifestyle was anything but conventional. He pretty much chose to live in total isolation, and get this, he lived in a hole in the ground that he dug himself. Now, at one point, the villagers got worried and they actually built him this simple little brick shack, and he'd use it sometimes, but honestly, he still preferred the hole. Which just brings us right to the biggest question of all, right? Why? I mean, why would anyone choose to live like that? And why, for over 60 years, would you avoid water? It all boiled down to this one single, really powerful belief. See, in his mind, he wasn't dirty at all. He was protected. He was just completely convinced that being clean, soap and water, would make him ill. So for him, all those layers of grime, that wasn't filth. It was a shield. And this belief, this philosophy, it wasn't just about bathing. It was everything he did. His diet, mostly roadkill. What he drank from? Old, rusty oil cans. And then there's the famous pictures of him smoking like 5 cigarettes all at once. Yeah, his whole way of life was so out there that it even caught the eye of some filmmakers. So back in 2013, they made this short documentary about him, and that's what really took his story from being just a local legend to this big international curiosity. And that brings us to the final chapter, to an act that was meant to be one of care, but might have actually been a fatal mistake. So for years and years, the people in his village were worried about him. They kept trying to convince him, hey, let us help you wash. But every single time, because of that core belief he absolutely refused. And right there, that's the heart of the conflict, isn't it? On one side, you have Amou Haji, whose whole world is built on the idea that cleanliness will make me sick. And on the other side, you have the villagers, thinking the complete opposite. Cleanliness will make him healthy. It's just a total clash of worldviews. You'd think his death would give us some answers, right? Nope. If anything, it just left behind this huge, lingering mystery that we're still talking about. I mean, look at how it all went down. For decades, he says no to every single attempt to clean him. Then, that one time in October 2022, after who knows how much pressure, he finally gives in. The villagers wash him for the first time in over 60 years, and then, almost immediately after, he dies. The timing is just, wow, you can't ignore it. So this just forces you to ask the big question about his entire life, right? Did he manage to live so long because of the way he lived, or was it in spite of it? I mean, is it possible his immune system did something incredible, like adapt to protect him? Or was he just a guy with ridiculously good genes who somehow survived against all odds? And this raises a really tough ethical question. Look, the villagers were just trying to help, right? They were acting out of kindness. But what if their good intentions actually led to his death? Could the shock of that first wash have just been too much for his system? Was it a terrible, tragic misjudgment? So let's just end with this. Imagine you were in their shoes. You see someone living like this, do you just respect their choice no matter how bizarre it seems to you? Or do you feel like you have to step in, for their own good? There's really no easy answer here. And that question, That's probably the real legacy left behind by the very strange, very mysterious life of Amou Haji.